believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
Enjoy a fresh start to your meal at Pizza Ranch, where the salad bar is always included with your buffet. Every day you'll find garden fresh greens, colorful veggies, and sides for every appetite. It's the most refreshing way to balance out a meal while leaving plenty of room for your other buffet favorites. Convenient, fast, and fresh. It's the Pizza Ranch Salad Bar. Mmm.
I couldn't ask for a better agent, for a better company in a time like this, in a disaster where you have no idea where to start.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team. There's people that are going to watch out for us and that care.
It's been pretty stressful. Once we saw Lori and got our plan, it's a lot better now.
It was like a huge weight lifted.
Hey, welcome back to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage, presented by Central Bank of the Ozarks. And live from the Pizza Ranch studio, I'm Guy Newcomb, the scoreboard guy, alongside, and pleased to be joined now by CBC head football coach Scott Pingel. And Coach, thanks so much for your time today.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
You bet, Coach. A little known fact, Coach Pingel is the very first player ever at any level of the NCAA football to have more than 2,000 receiving yards. Accomplished that back in 1998, Coach, and that seems like a long time ago, doesn't it?
It does. And my body tells me the same thing.
Very good. Well, Coach, you guys 11-1 on the season. You're the defending state champions. First, talk a little bit about your game last week, a win over a good Marquette team.
Yeah, it was. They were very physical on both sides of the ball. We knew they would be, and it's kind of one of those things where I think through our experiences, kind of there will be no easy games at this late of the season. So we knew it was going to be a battle. They threw it around a little bit and had some good success throwing it around. We had a blocked field goal that kind of changed the momentum of the game. But, it was one of those things. Once we got rolling, we kind of ran the ball really well and stopped them when we had to. We buckled but didn't break.
Talk a little bit about that running game. I saw some stories about that with Jeremiah Love. Had a big game, and he talked a little bit about just the weather kind of dictating that I'm going to have to carry the ball more as we get into later in November.
Yeah, you always say you want to be able to stop the run and run the ball late in the year, and these last 2 weeks, I don't know how it's been down there, but it's been crazy up here. It's been wind. Last week was light wind and it was about 15 miles an hour. The week before was in the upper 20s. So, you definitely had to change what you're doing on the fly. And we got some good guys up front that we can try to run the ball. And we got 3 running backs, Jeremiah Love, Dylan Van, and Ralph Dixon, that we feel very comfortable that we can try to run it between the tackles with those guys.
Yeah, you mentioned that win 2 weeks ago. I was on the field and saw 5 punts for a total of 11 yards. It was crazy. And heading in to this this Saturday, you've got a familiar foe in Liberty North. Tell us a little bit about what you know about this team.
They're very similar to what we saw last year. They got a lot of guys returning, a lot of key guys returning, their quarterbacks returning, running backs returning. They're newer at the wideout spots, but doggone, they replaced them with some very talented guys. They're nasty up front on the offensive line. The right tackle's nobody to mess with. He's a dude. Defensively, they return everybody except for their 2 corners. So we know what they're about. They know what we're about. They got the number 9 Lassiter in the middle. That's just a horse, man. He's big. He's physical. He can get to the ball carrier. So, they play a unique defense, and they say, okay, my three up front and my middle backer can stop a lot of the run. And then we're going to umbrella the defense, and, their safeties are good on the back end. There's not a weak spot on their team right now I can't find.
Coach, and the travel, this game is going to be at Liberty North with the 4 teams that are remaining. It's a semifinal game, and not that CBC's not used to traveling. You guys have played in four different states this season. But what about the travel? What are your plans? You go up Friday night. What do the cadets do?
No, we're going to leave Saturday morning. We tried to push it back an hour, but they couldn't do it because they have a play going on or something up there. But it's one of those things where, I think you're right. We're fortunate enough. We've done this travel before. We played in Kansas City before. We played in Memphis before, and we do day trips. We kind of break it up a little bit. And, I think the only thing that's crazier about this one is the time we got to leave a little earlier than I typically like to. But, it is what it is. And then we'll be ready to play at 1:00 for sure.
And, Coach, as you look at the Final Four that are remaining, 2 Kansas City, 2 St. Louis, you're playing each other. You're going to Kansas City, and then Lee Summit North is going to DeSmet. What created that decision? Is that the mission decision, or I don't understand really why they would do that?
Yeah, it's a mission decision. What happens is there's 4 districts in our Class 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they just kind of rotate who plays in the semifinals each year. So it might be District 1 versus District 4 one year, then 2 and 3, then next year it might be 1 and 3, 2 and 4. So every year the semifinals just kind of get rotated around by districts.
Yeah. And Coach, Saturday when that final score comes across, if CBC's on top, what are 1 or 2 statistical things that you're going to have to control, whether it be turnovers, penalties, something like that? What are a couple of things you're going to have to come out on top to win this game?
Well, I think the first word you said is key at any time this late in the year, turnovers. If we don't lose the turnover battle, I think we got a good chance. If we win the turnover battle, I think we got a great chance. But there's number 16. He's a slinger. He can sling it. He can find open guys. He can run himself. So I think I'm going to look at quarterback efficiency on his end. What's his all-purpose yards between throwing and running. So if we can kind of control 16, I think we got a chance. Not that they don't have other guys, but he's a guy that kind of gets everything going for him.
And again, we're visiting with CBC head football coach Scott Pingel. And Coach, have you looked at the weather? What's the forecast going to be in Kansas City on Saturday?
It says, it's going to be low 30s, but partly sunny or mostly sunny. So, that is one thing that I'm excited about is playing in daylight. We've done this, we played a couple Saturday games in the playoffs before. We went to Joplin. We've done this trip before. We went to Joplin one year in the playoffs on the Final Four. So we're kind of used to this trip. It's just I'm used to it. The guys here aren't. But I'm excited about playing on a Saturday. It kind of brings excitement to it. We haven't had a traditional season anyway, so we've only played 2 Friday night games at 7 p.m. So this is nothing new to play at an odd time for us.
Outstanding. Well, anytime you're playing on Saturday at this point of the season, you're making a run at a back-to-back state titles. And Coach, we certainly appreciate you being generous with your time here today. I know you guys have got coaches right now, they're doing, watching a lot of film, getting ready for travel and things like that. But thanks so much for just being generous with your time today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Coach Scott Pingel, CBC football, and they will be at Liberty North on Saturday. And as always, the Missouri